I could not be happier to welcome, actually, not even happy, more delighted to welcome Emmy winner, Tony Award winner, and a 2021 Golden Globe nominee, James Corden. Hi,
That was a
James.
lovely intro. How are you? It's so nice to see you. How are you doing?
So good. I was actually just so pleased reading about your career, preparing for our little talk this morning, and realized I didn't know until I was doing all this research on you that you have won 10 Emmys already.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm equally as shocked as you are. That's the truth of
Yeah.
the
Do you have them
matter.
all in the same place? Do you have them all?
Do you know what? I keep them all in a cupboard. I hide them all away because I don't know that it's necessarily good for me to see them every day and think, look at me. Like, I think that's where you can come unstuck if you start to think you're a bit more of a dude than you really are. So they're all in a cupboard at work, and one day, I guess I'll look and take them out and look at them. But right now, I think it's better to always just try and look forward, I think.
Wow, that's so interesting. You know, you've said that you are on a lifelong quest to make your audience happy. And before I read that or heard that, I could feel that in your show. I mean, you know, we share this in common doing a daily show. And the thing about a daily show, you're only as good as the last show. So it doesn't matter that you had the greatest guest, 2 weeks ago. You know, Tom Cruise can come and jump on your sofa, as was the case with me, but you still got Wednesday. What you gonna do
Sure.
Wednesday? And
Yeah.
then Thursday's coming. But I can say that one of the reasons we were number one for 25 years straight is because I intentionally sat with the producers talking about on a daily basis before every show and after every show, how do we use this show as a force for good in the world? And I think that the audience could feel that. And I can tell you that whether you have those conversations or not with your producers, I can feel that your intention is to make us feel happier. Your intention is to delight us.
That's so lovely that you would see that intention because we we have always talked about just joy, really. Joy being the currency. Joy is the thing. We just want as best we can to be a a slice of light, if you like, a bit of levity, whether people are watching it when it's on TV, in the middle of the night, or when they find it on their phone the next day. That's all we ever really want to do, is for it to be as joyful as possible. Particularly in this last year, where I don't know, I've really felt very concerned that the amount of our audience that are watching the show on their own and don't have that massive human interaction. So let's be the let's try and be the friend the other side of this screen, and know that we're feeling things at the same time, and we're going to try and pick you up whenever we can. That's always been our journey. So coming from you, that means a great deal that you would think that about show. It really does.
I think that, I feel that, and I think everybody else feels it, whether they've been able to articulate it or not. But because I am so aligned with intention and know that you don't get a result unless the intention was there for what we're feeling and seeing, that it's actual spiritual law that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, and before there is even an action, there's an intention for that action. So that happens all the time with everybody. So what you're looking at the result, and we feel you every night. I love that you tell each Carpool Karaoke guest that they are in a safe place before you film.
Oh, yeah, no, we do. We always say, because I think when it really came from when that idea started, which was, these we're talking about the biggest stars in the world who, so well, are never on their own, always surrounded by people makeup artists, publicists, security guards, managers, you know, assistants, all of these people around them. And here is a segment where we take all of those people away and put them in a follow car, and it's just the two of us talking. And I think when we first started, people were a bit like, "Oh, I don't know if I feel comfortable doing this." And then once it became very successful, people would then come with an element of nerves of like, "Oh, well, these are doing well," and all these things. And so we would just sit at the start, and I would just say, all we want from this is for you to just shine so bright. We want you to look great and feel great. And in truth, all your working day for the next hour and a half or 2 hours or however long we're shooting for is to have a great time. And if you have a great time, then this will be great. And anything at the end of this shoot, if you say, "Oh, that bit, I'm not sure, I want people to know that," it's gone. We're never going to be the show that goes, "Well, you said it and it's good for our ratings." If we want you to feel as comfortable as possible that we're in this together as a collaboration. And I think that's really been part of the success of it, really, is people feeling at ease to talk freely, to be as stupid as possible, you know?
Well, you know what's so incredible about it is and has become a cultural phenomenon. I mean, as many people watch Carpool Karaoke as watch the Super Bowl. I mean, it's and I know that when you first started it, you certainly had no idea that was going to happen. It started why? Because
it started because we were just thinking of how do we, you know, making these shows every day, like you say, you really need your tent poles that prop the show up, really. And we had done a sketch at home for a brilliant charity called Red Nose Day, which is comic relief here in America. And we'd done this sketch, which started with me in a car singing Wham songs with George Michael. And this sketch, loads of people watched it. Loads of people were involved in it. There was ex-prime ministers and Keira Knightley and Paul McCartney and England soccer captains and all these people. But the thing that people would really talk about would be me singing this song with George Michael. And while we were talking about the show, and we'd only just moved to Los Angeles, and all anyone talks about is the traffic. I think because you can't talk about the weather. Do you know what I mean? The weather is what the weather is every day. So people go, "Oh, how did you come in? Do you come in on the 10 and then take the 6 and the 405?
There was a great, I think, Saturday Night Live skit about that one. Oh my God. Yes. We talk about the 405 being backed up and the 101 and that's what we do.
So we were like, I wonder if there's a sketch where I pick up the biggest stars in the world and they help me get to work using the carpool lane. And then we came up with this name, Carpool Karaoke, where we were like, well, this feels like it's great. And I naively thought, oh, loads of people will want to do this. And then there's a little game we can play actually with all of the people that are watching, all of the WW crew that are watching this now. If everybody, just in your head, you don't have to write this down, just think of a recording artist who's alive. Just think of any recording artist. And has everybody got one? Everyone's got one? Okay, they said no. And that was it, really. Everybody said no to it. And then, I mean, God bless Mariah Carey for saying yes, because if she hadn't said yes, I don't even know if our show would have been on the air for more than 3 months, you know. She took a real gamble on us, and we will always, always love her for it. Yeah.
Wow. That's funny. Everybody think of a name. Well, they said no. That's really
they did.
Funny.
Everyone.
Vulnerability is
incredible.
But now they don't. Everybody wants to do it. Vulnerability is something we don't often consider when we think about self-love, but really, it's what opens us up to lasting change. And for me, vulnerability is being willing to express the truth, no matter what the truth of who you are, the essence at your core, what you're feeling at any given moment, being able to share that with other people who are worthy of your vulnerability, because you don't just go opening yourself up to everybody. even though I used to do that every day on the air. But I think one of the reasons for the success of the Oprah show all those years was my ability to truly be myself, which is what we feel from you every night. And you know this, James, that when you're able to do that, you opened a door to a higher, truer expression of who you're meant to be. And I recently was rewatching, in preparation for today, the video you shared when you announced that you were joining WW. This, to me, is the essence of vulnerability.
I wanted to share with you a decision that I've made. I've realised that every year for the past decade, probably even 15 years, on January 1st, I've told myself and anyone that would listen that this is it, this is the year, I'm going on a diet, I'm gonna lose a load of weight, I'm fed up with the way I look, I'm fed up with being unhealthy, and this is it, this is the year I'm doing it. And because of that, I've, over Christmas, eaten everything that's in the fridge, because in my head in January, I'm starting this diet and it'll be a success. And as you can see, well, it hasn't. And so I contacted the people at WW and I said, look, can you help me with this? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna embark on this year of health because I absolutely believe that they have the tools in place to make this the year that I really do make this change.
Wow. You know, you don't often hear men open up like that. And that was, I could feel the purity of that. And I know you feel that weight loss is a different experience for men than it is for women. How so?
Well, I think because if I'm sorry, I just even watching that video, it makes me feel quite emotional, if I'm honest, because I really have felt that every year. I really have had that feeling of like, it's the definition of madness, really, isn't it? To just keep doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting different results, which is never going to happen. And so I do think as a man, it's historically seen as, it isn't very sexy to say that you're on a diet, or it's not very manly somehow to want to make changes in your own health, because men drink beer and we go out and it doesn't matter what you look like and all those things. And I actually think it's the single most positive and sexy thing you can do to say, I would like to be a bit healthier. I would like to be a healthier presence in my family, for my children. I would like to feel better. And I think what I realized, my biggest issue, my biggest problem has been that I've constantly gone on diets, and I've seen them as diets. The diets that we've all done, you know, a shake in the morning, a shake in the evening, and all that nonsense in between. And they can have for me, they've had a short-term impact where I may have lost 10 pounds in, I don't know, a month. And then 2 months after that, I'm 20 pounds heavier than I was at the start of that thing. And what I realized is that there is no quick fix to this. This is a journey I have to go on, where I have to change my relationship with food and change the way that I consume food. And I don't have to starve myself of all of these things that I love and enjoy. What I have to do is be more accountable for what I'm putting in my body and think more about that every day. And I have to say, I found I started on January 2nd. So yeah, I found this past 5 or so weeks incredibly transformative for me. I've really, really enjoyed it in a way that I've never enjoyed a diet before, really. And part of that feels like, I think, because I wanted to put that video out there, maybe subconsciously, to make me really do it. I found it a lot easier than I thought. And a lot of that is genuinely down to I think what I've realized is that this isn't just connected to food, but in this sense, let's do that. As soon as you open yourself out to people and say, this is how I'm feeling, and I think I might be struggling with this, you will be met by a wave of people going, how can I help? Whereas if I hold on to those things and I'm, eating stuff out the fridge at midnight and then feeling rubbish about it, then you're never going to get that support unless you sort of ask for it. Like, my wife has been incredible in this. In my whole journey with food, she's been really, really amazing with me. And I've really found this past 5 weeks like I'm on the start of a journey that I'm determined to finish, and I feel that I can. Am I talking too much? Have you all disappeared?
No, I love that. So you said to our producers, everybody's like applauding, and I saw some amens in the corner there from Alice. And thank you all for showing the love here to James, because we've all felt this. We have all felt that this is going to be the year. Monday is going to be the day. And year after year, you tell yourself the same thing, and it's the cabbage soup, and it's the military diet, and it's the green shakes, and it's and the thing that we all here love about WW is it's really not a diet, as Kim was saying. It's a shift in the way you see your relationship with food, and it's there to help keep you on track. So how has it been different for you this year than every other year that you've made that promise to yourself?
Well, because I'm not kind of going, right, that's it, I'm on a diet. So bread, gone, carbohydrate, gone, chocolate, gone, everything gone. I will now only eat this disgusting, and it is disgusting, quinoa, awful thing, and it doesn't work for me. So it was my wife's birthday about a week ago yesterday. It was my wife's birthday, and we decided, let's get a takeout. And we got a takeout from our favorite restaurant. And I knew that we were getting this takeout. So I planned what I was eating that day accordingly. And I had a really good meal. I didn't eat the dessert or anything, but I had, it was a meal I would order regardless of whether I was on this diet. And then the next day, I picked up where I was and I carried on. And I sort of went slightly over my points, but not to a point where I went nuts. And historically, I've always been either on a diet or I'm off a diet. So as soon as I have broken, I don't know if people would associate with this, but as soon as I've broken that chain, I would use that as an excuse and go, oh, well, I've done that now. I've broken the diet. So I might as well eat this pint of ice cream and go and get a burger because it's done now. It's broken. See, who am I? I did it. I thought I could do it and I can't. So now I'm done. And actually what I've realized is, no. I'm still not really wanting to talk to myself in the third person. But I, have had some long conversations with myself in mirrors before where sometimes I go, is this what it's going to be? Are you going to look like this forever? And some days I go, oh, I don't want to talk to you today. And other days I think, yeah, okay, let's make a change. And what I've realized is you can't break this and not, because this is it. This is what we're doing. And so this is what I'm doing. And I'm going to think every single time I put food into my body, I'm going to be aware of what it is. And I feel very, very smug when I'm in like the break room at work and I use the scanner on the app, because I was actually in the break room the other day and I used to always eat these bars at work that I thought were healthy, Oprah, and they looked healthy. They presented themselves as healthy, if I'm honest. They told me in their packaging that this is a health food snack. So I'm in there the other day and I was kind of hungry and I'd forgotten I really love the baked protein bar, the WW protein bar. I'd forgotten to bring it with me. So I went in and I thought, well, I'll eat one of those bars. That's a similar protein bar. I scanned it, 11 points. I was gobsmacked. I was eating 2 of these a day. I may as well have been eating a Mars bar. It's ridiculous. So it's just made me more aware of it all, you know?
Yes. That's exactly what WW is all about, is the consciousness, is making yourself more aware of what you're eating and taking responsibility for that. And so have you seen success?
Yeah, I've lost 16 pounds. I've lost 16 pounds. Yeah. And I've been doing some exercise, which I hate. I just can't bear it. So I'm using the word hate. But my wife is so good at it. Do you know what? My wife is actually planning a little circuit for us after this. So we do it together and we do some weights and these little runs. And I moan about it constantly. And then I have to begrudgingly say later that afternoon that I do feel better about myself. And that's what we're doing. But again, it's about support. So yeah, that's what I do, a bit of that. At the very least, we'll just take a walk together, which is really lovely for us. It doesn't, you know, and that's what we'll try and do, is that really. But yeah, I'm down 16 pounds.
Down 16 favorite go-to, aside from those bars now, do you have a favorite go-to WW meal? What comforts you?
Yes, there's so many. There's this, have you done, and I've been telling the people at WW Oprah, and I'll tell you, this should be out and sold as a kit. There's a great recipe, and it's really quite easy. It sounds complicated, but I promise you it's quite easy, for a chickpea pizza, which I think WW should be selling as a chick pizza. And if you don't do it, I will. And you know, you'll rue the day that you didn't. But it's a chickpea base with a little marinara sauce and then not too much cheese. And then we put like broccoli and red onion and stuff on it. And just last Sunday, because it was the Super Bowl, the kids wanted to order pizza, which for me is just a nightmare. Like, it's enough for me to just go and sit in the car while they eat it, because I just can't not pick. Yeah. I just can't.
One slice is one good slice is 10 points. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but that would be all right if I could eat one good slice. But I considered one good pizza. So me and Jules said, well, why don't we do this chick pizza? Oh my word. It was sensational. I urge anybody to search out that recipe, because you can also make the base like the day before and keep it in the fridge, and it will go kind of hardish, and then you can make it up. And we did it with the kids, and they had a like pizza from the delivery place, and me and Jules ate this, and it was amazing. I felt so smug about myself.
I love that smug feeling. Okay, let's do a speed round. What's the last show you binge watched?
Oh, properly binge watched. I'm watching fully binge watched is a show called Normal People on Hulu, but that's been out a while now. But there's also a French show on Netflix called Call My Agent, which I find really funny. I'm enjoying that a lot. Okay,
who's your dream carpool karaoke passenger?
Oh, wow. It has to be Beyonce, doesn't it? I think.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God.
If you can tell her from me.
The internet. The internet.
We'll see. We'll see. Cross that bridge.
I don't know. I don't know if an internet could exist after that. Okay. What book is on your nightstand right now?
Oh, it's right next to me. You'd like this book, Oprah, actually. This is the book I've been reading. It's called Post-Corona, From Crisis to Opportunity. It's by Scott Galloway, who's a brilliant author. And it's just about essentially how the world will be different, how we've all, even if we don't fully realize it, gone through this and changed in some way. And what are we going to do about that? And I'm really enjoying it, actually. I'm about a third of the way in.
Speaking of that, what is the first place you want to travel when it's safe again to do so?
Oh, well, I'd love to go and see my mum and dad. So it would always be London for me. We're so used to them being out here for, they would often come twice a year for a month at a time. Um, and they are missing our children so much, and our children are missing both of their grandparents. So it would be there, but they are, all my family are on WW now. Did you know this? My sisters are on it and they're doing great. My parents are on it. They have, because I used to go with my mum to formally Weight Watchers meetings when I was like 11 or 12. And it's the only thing that's ever worked for my mum. And she's always struggled with her weight. So my sisters and my mum and dad, because of the time difference, we can't ever be there. Every 3 weeks, they do a Zoom WW weigh-in and they clap each other if they've done well. They're properly in it now. It's terrific. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
this lifestyle's better when you share it. So I've heard you say that the pandemic brought you and your family closer together. What is there a new hobby that you discovered during the pandemic?
Um, there's a new hobby I've got, which is I just hiding in the bathroom to just read and write emails. That's my new hobby. I'm just got to nip to the bathroom, kids, and I could be in there for 40 minutes, just reading and writing emails. Uh, no, that's we've. I tell you the thing that we've really enjoyed, which always feels slightly strange saying that during such a turbulent time, is because because we haven't had guests on our show. We tape our show earlier now, so I get back every night for kind of what we call winding down time in our house, which is books and talks, and we and that is something I have really, really loved so much, is sitting with our children and talking with them and about everything that's been going on. It's probably that really is, and it's a miracle that my wife hasn't killed me or left me during this time. Let's be honest. Who'd want to walk a mile in her shoes? But she really does hold our whole family together, and it's really it's been a challenge for everybody. But I will say, like, since starting this WW and being on the app and stuff, and I get loads of messages from people saying that this isn't you, it's not me, and I promise you it is. I'm right there. I'm right there with you, and if you ever want to have a chat about anything, I'll be right there. And yeah, I really do feel like I've joined something which the benefit of for my life and my family is going to be monumental, because I already feel it, you know.
Wow, that's so great. It's great to, speaking of chatting with everybody, it's great to connect with you today. It's great to
glorious,
have this
glorious.
connection. Glorious. And thank you so much for being so open, so vulnerable, for sharing your truth in a way that we are all amening to. We know it, we feel it, we've been there. And thank you for being on this journey with us. Thanks.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. I can't tell you what a pleasure and an honor it is to just be in your orbit, Oprah, for a minute, but like to be with all these people who I have so much respect for, because we're all of us told that this is easy. We're all of us told somehow, somewhere, by somebody in our lives to just pull ourselves together and, oh, well, just don't eat that. And what are you doing? And and it isn't. It's really, really hard. It's really, really hard. But like being here, doing this, checking in with each other, being aware of it, you know, we can make those changes and then inspire some other people to make those changes. And we'll never ever be those people that go, well, it was really easy. I lost all this weight and it was so easy. It isn't. It's really difficult. But I'm right there with you. And I know that you're right there with me. And in a year's time, we're all going to be so ripped. We're all going to be so ripped, Oprah. It's going to be crazy. I'll be sat here with a shirt off. I'm going to be like The Rock.
Okay, let's do it again. Let's do it again when you reach goal. Do you have a goal? Do you have a goal, or are you just moving until you feel like you're in the right body for yourself?
Well, I've gained so much weight. You know, I was 7 pounds, 8 ounces. And ever since then, I've just gained weight and gained weight. Now, I'd really like to experience a day, just one day, underneath 200 pounds. That's my plan. But like when I met my wife, I was about 280. When I started this on WW, I was 236. I'm now like 220. And I would really love to experience a day underneath 200 pounds. I'd like to be the weight that Sierra was when she started the diet. That would be a dream for me.
But hey, you can't say I just want to be there for a day. You gotta,
no, I'd love to experience
the shift, the paradigm.
And then I'll just sit around it. I'll be 202. I'll be 194. Because I know that this program that I'm on now, I know the way that I'm eating, that I can sustain this. So I really just want to try and push this off. And then I'm certain that when I get to that weight, I'll still look in the mirror and think,
so you must have started, since you've lost 60, you said you were at 226 and you now at 220. You must have been at 236 when you started.
That's what I was. Sorry, yes. I was 236 and now I'm 220. Yeah. And then, yeah. So I'm really, really going to try and keep going on this. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. We love talking to you today.
You're the best.
I enjoyed it so much. You know, when I was there and I asked you about your children, the dream that you had for your children, and you know, jokingly started to tear up. What is that dream that you still hold?
Oh man, I'd really like them to be happy. I'd like them to be happy, good people. That's my dream more than anything else, really, is them to just find whatever it is in this world that makes them happy and do that. And that would be the best thing that I think I could ever wish for them, because I think all the other stuff is irrelevant really after that. So I'd really love them to be happy and find the thing that they're good at and run with it and never give up on that, you know? That's what I'd really, really love. I wasn't joking when you made me cry. I was genuinely serious. You have this crazy gift. And I mean, even just talking to you now, I can't believe it. So it's always a joy to be in your orbit. It really, really is. And what you're doing here, because you spend so much of this time talking about other people and asking questions about other people, what you're doing here, you doing this, you being part of this right now, staying, checking in, and whether it be out on the road, which I hope one day so much you get to do again. But doing all this, you just don't know what it means to people. You really, really don't. You don't know how much it means to all of us. I mean that, truly.
Thank you, James Corden. Thank you. Have a beautiful Saturday.
See you soon.